Okay, so while I was in Lend, two things really kind of stand out. The first one was I had the opportunity to work with Alan Kurtz, who's part of UCEDD at Maine, with some program called Family Centered Transition Planning, which was great. Alan's incredible in what he does, but he allowed me to come in and go into some of the family homes and see how some of these meetings play out, and the whole concept of making sure that the child, and in this case it was young adults, making sure that they are part of these meetings and they're not just being talked about, but they're included and participate in any way that they can, which could be some really alternative ways. And he brought me to a few grassroots coalition meetings in Maine, and we get to discuss some of the outcomes of the family-centered transition planning, which would be some post-secondary education, more employment options, and it was great to kind of hear from the community what the challenges that they were facing with their children, and see how Alan's work and David Hagen's work is really increasing the overall scope and the participatory actions of those children that they were working with. In this case, it was young adults. And what struck me was when we started telling our stories about what the results were, the outcomes, a lot of people at the meeting had really no idea that those types of that programming was going on, and it was really eye-opening for me, because I just assumed that everybody knows the challenges that, especially with young adults when they leave the school system, there's a real, I guess, kind of a downward spiral of services available, and there's a real need for those types of grassroots, family-centered transition planning and programming. So it was great to be kind of on the ground zero of the community and be able to tell our story. And I think the other thing that stands out was the trip we went to Washington, going into the representative's office and the senator's office, and telling those stories about the importance of what Lend is doing. And we always were told that telling a story is something that the legislators and the senators, that's what they want to hear. They want to be able to put a name, a face, and a story to some of the problems. So it kind of helped me realize that advocacy for policy change is very important, and it's not something that I used to think other people would do that, but it's one of those things that Lend really shows you, is that it's time, you're the one that should be making the change. You're the one, your voice is just as important as everybody else's. So that made me realize that it was time to kind of step up and make some of those changes myself.